Welcome back, everybody. Dave with Cruiser Cult. We're finishing up our hood refresh. A little cold here in the shop in Washington. What we've done so far, just to bring you back up to speed, we have removed the old hood liner. We went through and we cleaned the underside of the hood. You can see the paint here looks great compared to the rest of this old truck. What was great about cleaning everything is being able to then go through, and I noticed that the ribs on the underside were not bonded anymore to the hood skin that's on the top. So we used a 3M product. It is 3M 08115. It is a panel bond adhesive, and that brings us up to speed. So we let this sit with weight on the top of the hood in its natural position. I did notice that there are some gaps between the actual panels which didn't bond. So what I would recommend if somebody's doing this over is to maybe not close the hood all the way, find a way to run perhaps a 2x4 across the engine bay on like kind of the shelf on the edge of the engine compartment on the fenders, and find a way to kind of put some wood blocks so when you do close it, you're ensuring that the middle part is completely bonded. I'm not gonna go back and do that because I used all my adhesive up, and at this point we're gonna continue to move forward and wrap the project. I did notice that there is a much better sound. There's not as much rattle or vibration because the skin is now bonded. It may not be as bonded as what was originally done with the factory. You can see over here I started to put some butyl based sound deadener on the inside as well. That I'm probably gonna put just a couple pieces, more pieces on the inside here, just to help take some of the sound out. Let's see if we can talk the other side. Not sure if you can hear the difference. There's a slight difference. I feel like if I go through and I put a little bit more application on here, this is all gonna be hidden by the actual insulator that we'll be putting in, but it's gonna give us an opportunity to deaden a little bit more of the sound coming from the engine bay and hopefully block some of that sound that would come out of there. So I went ahead and used part of the box to create some cardboard templates. It was previously the drip tray for the panel bond. I just laid it across the engine bay. And so now I have some of these sound deadener pieces, which I kind of used a template. I held the cardboard up to the truck itself on the inside so I could fit these pieces. I'm gonna get that finished up and then apply these, then we're gonna get this insulator up. We're on our way. Okay, so I just finished up applying all of the sound deadener. I'm only doing a few patches. I'm not gonna do the whole thing. Again, we're just trying to dampen some of the sound. It doesn't need to have entirely full coverage. It's all gonna be hidden underneath the insulator, so not that worried about it. So, a little sound test. Going over. So you can tell a little difference just from having the outside panels. A lot less rattle. Here it is. So the only other things I would do if you were trying to knock everything out is a lip seal on the bottom of the hood that prevents water from intruding into the engine bay. There's one other seal along the back here that helps to prevent water from running in from that side of the hood. But everything else, I think it really helps in terms of making everything look nice and new. When you look at like the rest of my truck, it's super funny. So, and notice this fender. Did a little spray with some fluid film, and that's kind of like one of those patina preservation stuff. And you can see just from where my truck was out in the rain when I pulled it around, the difference with this just kind of soaking in and everything else kind of beating up and drying a little bit more quickly. So that is definitely happening. In another episode we'll be doing at some point in the future is a fluid film preservation for your paint. All right guys, gonna wrap up this project. What I learned overall, or things that I would do differently, is make sure that you, first off, when you're applying the panel bonding to the ribs, make sure you cover the inside of the engine compartment with something. Could be the cardboard from the insulator, the packaging that came in, could be some trash bags. I had just a little bit of drips when I closed the hood and put weight on it. Those landed on like not very important or things that are gonna bother me at all. But if you go really heavy with that panel bond and a lot of it comes off, it could make a real mess out of your valve cover or a bunch of other stuff in the engine compartment that could be problematic down the road. So I'd recommend covering that, probably with like a painter's tarp, something along those lines. When using the panel bond, making sure that you get really handy with releasing the pressure on the two-part mixing gun, because as soon as you put pressure on it, you need to release it or it'll just continue to come out, and that creates a bit of a mess to clean up. Lastly, when weighing the hood down for the panel bond to actually set, I put a bunch of weight on the hood to weigh down the skin to the ribs. What I would like to do, because the middle part didn't actually bond, not gonna go back and fix that now, but I would recommend putting some kind of 2x4 structure across the fenders to brace the midsection, so when you do apply weight to the hood, it will connect fully in the middle of the hood and your bond will be complete. And that's a wrap. Let us know if you have any questions or anything along those lines. Thanks so much for checking one off the list with me. I got a lot of other stuff to do with this truck, but appreciate you guys taking the ride with me.